At another moment, both are in a cafe enjoying their drinks in silence. Until Fanyu comments that she does not need to buy him more clothes since he still has not been able to use the ones he has. Jian explains that she cannot help it because every time she sees something pretty, she feels it would look perfect on him. She adds that it is his fault for being so handsome. That leaves the young man thoughtful, remembering that people used to tell him the same before, but never as a compliment. He recalls when some women commented that he was very handsome, and that he probably inherited that from his mother, the homewrecker who seduced a married man. He also remembers some students saying that, although he was good-looking, they did not like him because he seemed gloomy and a bit frightening. Back in the present, Fanyu observes his companion and reflects that she is the truly beautiful one. He thinks that someone like Jian stands out no matter where she is, with a naturally captivating beauty. Right at that moment, two girls look at them, and one comments that they look very cute together. They wonder if they are influencers or models, and one of them says that the girl looks familiar. Jian manages to hear it. Immediately, Fanyu thinks that cannot be good, and wonders how he could forget something so important. Then he starts looking for something in his bag and puts a cap on Jian. She is confused, but he asks her to wear it for now and not to take it off. Also, they must leave there as soon as possible. Once outside, Fanyu looks around. Jian asks what is happening and why he is acting so nervous. The young man questions if she is seriously asking, remembering that she is a famous celebrity. Then he asks if it is all right to go out with him so openly, warning that if someone recognized her, it would be a problem. Jian asks where he got the idea that she is a celebrity and if she ever told him that. Fanyu answers that he heard it from Xiaotian, but promises to explain later, since now they must leave. Suddenly, he hears a sound, looks toward the origin, and sees a girl. He wonders if they are being photographed and states that would be bad, that they must do something. Without thinking, he takes Jian and disappears from the place, leaving the girl, who was only taking a selfie, completely confused. On the other hand, Jian does not understand what is happening or why he suddenly started running. She thinks he is playing some kind of game. She thinks that, at that moment, they look like two adults running down the street as if they were children, something really ridiculous. But even so, she wonders why she finds that so fun. She states to herself that it is as if he does some kind of magic, because no matter how bad she feels, he always manages to make her forget her worries, even for a few seconds. After running for a while, they hide in a secluded place. Fanyu, still holding his companion's hand, looks around and wonders if that place will be safe. When he turns his gaze towards Jian, he gets nervous because of how close she is, immediately lets go of her hand, and apologizes. He notices a slight movement and asks if her feet are all right, apologizing again for not considering that her footwear was not suitable for running. She responds that she is fine, that she is already used to it, and that running a bit is no problem. The young man, however, remembers a moment from his school days and wonders if he took control of the situation again, causing trouble once more. He explains that he thought someone had recognized her and suggests waiting until there are fewer people to go to the cinema, since if they were photographed together, it could harm her image. Hearing that, Jian smiles slightly and understands that he was only worried about protecting her. She reflects that Fanyu cares more about her than she does herself, maybe because she has grown too used to people around her being self-interested. But someone like him puts her in a difficult position because she does not know how to react to sincere people. She starts laughing and reveals that she is not famous enough for people to recognize her, and that no one is photographing them secretly. Therefore, it will be best to enjoy the movie without worries. Also, she thanks him for having made her feel like a big star, and for everything he did to protect her, confessing that being with him makes her feel safe. She reveals that she considers herself lucky to have someone she can trust completely. The young man, upon hearing that, questions if he really deserves the trust she gives him. However, Jian mentions that they forgot the shopping bags at the cafe. That surprises Fanyu, who says he will return quickly for them. His companion answers that it is not necessary, that she can call the place and ask them to keep the bags. Already at the cinema, Jian points at the movie she wants to watch with him, revealing that it is spicy. She asks what he thinks, stating that it is very popular right now. But Fanyu, upon seeing which one it is, wonders why it has to be a movie rated 18+, and suspects they will not be allowed in. Jian encourages him to buy the tickets, but he prefers to wait and points at another movie at random. She, upon seeing which one he chose, asks if he is serious. Fanyu nods quickly. Jian does not understand why he wants to watch something like that and thinks he behaves like a child. She explains that The River of Love has very good reviews and that she has wanted to watch it for a while, so she wants to do it with him. She promises that next time they will watch the one he chooses. The young man, without much resistance, accepts and thinks that he has no choice but to endure. Jian buys the tickets, but the cashier asks for identification. That makes Fanyu nervous, who admits that he did not bring his. Jian tries to help him, assuring that he is of age and that it is obvious, but the cashier apologizes. She must verify anyway. Jian understands and comments that perhaps today they will watch the movie he chose. Fanyu apologizes immediately and promises that next time he will bring his ID. Already in the theater, he thinks he was saved from a complicated situation. While they watch the movie, he reflects on how to tell her the truth. He knows he will only be able to hide his real age for a short time, but that he will have to keep inventing lies until everything comes to light. He remembers the moments he has spent with her and feels that he is tired of that anxiety. The more time he spends with Jian, the harder it becomes to keep lying. At the end of the movie, Jian comments that she misjudged him, that the film was better than expected, but Fanyu does not hear her. He only thinks whether he should tell her everything. If he did, he knows things would get complicated, because he probably would not be able to stay at her house anymore. At that moment, Jian calls him. A bit confused, he looks at her, and she asks where they will go now. Fanyu answers that he is fine with anything, which leaves her intrigued, so she proposes going to a bar. The young man stays silent for a few seconds, until she asks if he cannot handle alcohol. Fanyu tries to answer, but before he can finish, Jian grabs his arm and says she will find out for herself. That makes Fanyu reflect that, as much as he wants to stay with her, he should not do it dishonestly. He stops, determined to tell the truth. He apologizes and says he cannot go to the bar. Jian, curious, asks why, and if he cannot tolerate alcohol. Then he answers that he lied. He confesses that in reality he is not 20 years old, but 17. Hearing that, Jian asks what he said, and he confirms that his real age is 17. She cannot believe it and asks if it is a joke. Fanyu denies it, explaining that is why they could not watch the previous movie nor go to the bar. Jian, even more surprised, asks where the cigarettes he had before came from. He becomes confused, but remembers the day they met and says it is more complicated to explain, that he did not actually buy them. She, gradually accepting reality, states that in the end he is 17. She remains motionless for a few seconds. Fanyu apologizes again for having lied and reveals that when she asked his age, he panicked and ended up lying because he knew that if she found out he was a minor, she probably would not allow him to stay with her. The young woman, still in shock, remembers that day and wonders why he was there and why he decided to stay with her. She asks if he ran away from home. Fanyu, after a look filled with guilt, nods. Jian, processing all the information, wonders how they got to that point. She reflects that she had several theories about why he wanted to stay with her, economic problems or a bad streak. But she never imagined he was a runaway minor. She reproaches herself for not realizing sooner, since the signs were there. She thinks she was naive to assume he was an adult just because he had cigarettes. She admits that not only did she let him stay in her house, but they even shared intimate moments, and she feels like a monster. Fanyu, worried, calls her. She asks him to forget what happened and says she does not blame him, because it was also her responsibility. However, she declares that she cannot allow him to continue living in her apartment and asks him to prepare his things and leave the next day. She turns around and asks him to go ahead, because she needs time to think. But Fanyu follows her and asks her to wait, begging to stay a little longer. He promises not to cause problems. She does not respond. She just stops. Then he thinks he has no other choice but to risk everything. He tells her that if he cannot stay with her, he will sleep on the street, because he will not return to his house. That catches Jian's attention, and when she turns to protest such an idea, she trips on her heel and begins to fall. But before she touches the ground, Fanyu catches her.